Probate court call for the morning. Ms. Schwartz, whenever you're ready.
This is in the matter of the estate of Maggie Lou Yielding, file number 23-52938DE, petition for probate, appointment of PR, and determination of heirs.
Your appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mark Jackson appearing on behalf of the petitioner, Linda Yielding, daughter of the deceased. We are before the court today, as the clerk indicated, for appointment of personal representative and a formal determination of heirs. In this matter, as the testimony in the file will indicate, Ms. Yielding during her lifetime had 3 children: Linda Yielding, my client, Deborah Wilcox, who lives here in Adrian, and a son, William Yielding, who unfortunately passed away. And he left 5 known children, but we were not sure that there might be some others. So that is why we want a formal determination of heirs this morning, Your Honor. No others have come forward. We believe that the surviving heirs at law, given the death of William, at this point would be Linda Yielding, Deborah Wilcox, and William's children, Chloe, K-H-L-O-E Parsons, Chelsea, C-H-E-L-S-E-A Marshall, William Yielding, who is his son, Adina, A-D-I-N-A Yielding, and Danielle Yielding. And we have submitted that, and the testimony of my client is in the file. I believe everything is in order. We have proof of publication, which I believe has also been filed, and we would ask for appropriate orders to enter.
Thank you. Are you expecting anyone else to appear today?
I am not, Your Honor. My client had to work today and was not able to take the day off.
Well, the court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's hearing. I do find the file supports also that we've had publication for further support in confirming that there are no objections or any contest to the request for the determination of heirs or to the rest of the issues set before the court today. There is further support that Ms. Yielding passed away August 12th, 2023, a resident of Lenawee County, making venue proper in this court. The uncontested offering of the heirs of this decedent are accepted by the court, as is the valid unrevoked will dated 11/21/22. Court finds further Ms. Linda Yielding is suitable for appointment pursuant to the statutes, and the supervised administration is not currently necessary for the protection of persons interested in the estate. On that vein, Mr. Jackson, or in that vein, what are the anticipated assets of the estate?
We anticipate, Your Honor, the only asset is a home on Keaton Avenue with a 2x SEV value of just over $41,000. The contents of the home were sold some time ago. Ms. Yielding had been in care prior to her death, but was not on Medicaid. We do not anticipate any liens from the state or any other claims of a significant value, and that's the only known asset at this time.
Thank you. It will be the order of the court. The petition is granted. The will is determined to be valid and will be admitted to govern the administration of the estate, which will be spearheaded by Ms. Linda Yielding, who is appointed the personal representative to serve without bond at this time. The determination of heirs is also reflected in the order. I have signed the letters of authority, the order of formal proceedings, and admitted the will. Unless there's any questions, that's all for this morning.
Nothing further on this matter, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead with our next one, whenever you.
Matter of Vera Pinter, docket number 19-1-51203CA, final account with petition to allow.
All right, the court's been asked to allow this final petition. We do have a waiver in the file from the guardian ad litem, Mr. McFarland, indicating he's reviewed this accounting and the supporting documents and has no objection to its submission. I am looking for Ms. Ashley Hanson-Grimes on this particular file. Deputy Ames, would you be so kind as to check in the hallway?
I believe she was in the jury room. I'll find her.
Thank you. If you could ask her to join us.
Yeah, we have your honor.
Great, thank you. Good morning. Come on up to our podium and give us your name for the record, please.
Ashley Hanson Grine, petitioner on behalf of Vera Pinter.
Thank you. I have already reviewed for the record that Mr. McFarland, the guardian ad litem, has reviewed your final accounting and has no objections to the admission of same. Are there any remarks you'd like to make about your work on the file?
Vera was a wonderful lady. I enjoyed my time with her. I was able to assist her and her family. Her passing was extremely sad for all of us and really unexpected. But I do feel that at this point in time, everything is in order to transfer over to an estate where her family can take it from there.
Very well. And how long will you need in order to provide proof of that transfer?
I should be able to provide that to the court within 30 days.
So if we set 12/15 of 23, would that give you enough time?
Yes,
Are you confident that all of the information contained in your accounting is truthful, accurate, and complete to the best of your knowledge and information?
yes,
The court finds the petition requesting the allowance of this final accounting has been served to all interested parties. There have been no objections filed. The fees and costs, as well as the accounting, does appear to be correct. And for those reasons, the order allowing the account is signed and issued. And we'll give you again until 12/15, 2023 to show our clerk's office proof of proper transfer, and the file will close automatically at that time.
thank you.
You're welcome. All in this file. We're calling Gabriela Conger file next. So if you're here on that, if you could step forward. Deputy Ames, would you check in the hallway to see if there's anyone here on Conger, please?
Will, your honor.
Looking for specifically Heather Krebs.
Heather Kress.
Krebs, Krebs.
Anybody here in the Conger file?
All right, call us.
All this one.
Yes.
This is in the matter of Gabriela Conger, file number 10-47145 CY, petition to allow 11th, 12th, and 13th annual accounting.
It's going to ask you to approve these annual accountings. I do have, we've checked in the hallway just to make sure that Ms. Heather Krebs or the child is here. And at this time, we've confirmed that we don't have any attendees on this particular file. Requests for the 11th, 12th, and 13th annual accountings do appear to be correct. There's very little action on the file. They are settlement proceeds that appear to be gaining a modicum of interest as anticipated, and I do have waivers filed by mother and child. For those reasons, the accounting is approved, despite the fact that we don't have their appearance, relying on the waivers. That's all for this one. Okay, next is Harry Price. So if you're here on that one, come on up to our council tables. Deputy Ames, do you want to take the microphone over, actually?
Sure. You want to say where you're at, sir?
You want to sit right there and just give her the mic? I can be sure.
Okay. All right, well, we appreciate the efforts. Ms. Schwartz, whenever you're ready.
This is in
Is
the
it
matter of
easier for you to
Gary-
stand or sit?
Pardon?
Is it easier to stand or sit?
Sit.
Okay, right here. This microphone.
All right, I think we're gonna need Mr. McFarland on this one as well.
Okay.
Ms. Schwartz.
This is in the matter of Harry Ray Price III, development of disabled, file number 13-48625 DD. This is the 8th, 9th, and 10th accounts with petitions to allow.
Thank you. All right, we've been here before on this file, given some questions that were raised at the last juncture by Mr. McFarland, who will be joining us in a moment. May I have your names for the record, please?
Yeah, Harry Harry R. Price Jr.
Denise Price.
We're,
I'm sorry, I'm really hard of hearing.
that's okay. I just was noticing Mr. McFarland has joined us.
McFarland.
Would you like to put your appearance on
okay,
the record?
Michael McFarland, attorney guardian at Light.
All right, I have your remarks, Mr. McFarland. I have reviewed those, but I look forward to your comments for the record.
Well, Your Honor, I've had a chat with the parents out in the hall today and with their son, who's sitting behind me here with his care helper. My understanding is that Social Security disability payments for the ward are being deposited in father's own Social Security disability accounts.
Right.
My turn to talk, sir. And they're being commingled, they're being spent. I don't know that they're being spent inappropriately. I can't say that, but I can't say how they're being spent because they're not being accounted for. They've also brought some concern to me in bills such as electric. They would like the ability to maybe charge a third to him, because he uses a lot of electronic games and leaves the lights on and things of that nature. So I guess we're looking for guidance. Maybe a suggestion is that his Social Security funds need to go in a separate account. And so we can have receipts and we can track that. I asked if Social Security does an accounting or audit to find out where those funds are being used or applied, and they do not. So that's a concern that I have as a guardian ad litem, is accountability, Your Honor.
All right. Deputy Ames, would you swear in our participants, please?
Raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, Ms. Denise Price, you are the guardian in this file, is that right?
Yes.
All right. You've
And my
heard,
husband's a guardian too,
Well, alternate.
alternate guardian.
all right, so you've heard Mr. McFarland's comments.
Yeah.
What would you like to say in response?
Yeah, we can, go about putting his money in another account and then using that money for his needs in the home.
All right, is there a reason it wasn't set up that way originally?
We never knew about that, about getting Social Security taken out for my son.
You didn't know you were receiving Social Security?
No, we knew we were receiving Social Security, but we didn't know that,
So he collects off of mine because
One at
I'm
a time,
disabled.
please. One
yeah,
at a time.
He doesn't know about it.
yeah, he collects off of his every month. Well, because he's disabled,
And by he, you mean?
my husband.
Thank you. So there are two, yes, that's what Mr. McFarland said, was that there's two deposits happening into that account.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Price, you obviously would like to be heard on this. Go ahead.
Yeah, about 20 years ago, I got hurt at work, and I got hurt to the point where I wasn't able to go back to work. I was a tool and die maker at General Motors, and I wasn't able to go back to work because of a severe injury I got at work. So I wound up being on a disability, Social Security, and a pension, which at that time was less than $3,000 a month total. And and it wasn't until a few years later that when I talked to my benefit rep at work, he told me, he says, well, your son is qualified to collect off of your Social Security because of your injury, and he's handicapped. I said, I didn't know that. And he said, well, go down to Social Security to find out, to find out more about it. So I went down to Social Security, and they reaffirmed what he said, that yeah, he is eligible to collect off of my disability. And at the time it was probably $700 a month, maybe, or I don't remember. It's been a long time. And I said, well, am I going to run into any issues with this? And my son had a settlement from the insurance company. There's, you know, there's money in his account at Bank of America. And they said, no, you won't have any issues with that. And I said, well, what about the courts or anything? He said, no, he's entitled. They said it's Social Security. He's entitled to collect off of yours because he's disabled and you're disabled. And I just left it at that it was a non-issue. You know, I didn't have any inkling that it was gonna be an issue. You know, we used some money monthly to feed him, clothe him, buy him computers, books, videotapes, DVDs, clothes, you name it. I spend my own money on him, not just his. I spend my money on him. He's well cared for in our home. I mean, he's had issues because he's got autism, and he got hit by a car when he was 6 years old. And so, you know, yeah, he's had his issues along the way, and I consider ourselves really good parents for him. He's, you know, I don't squander his money. I don't spend it on myself. It's all spent on him, and even my money is spent on him.
How much does he receive per month?
He receives, I just checked this morning, he gets $1,199 a month is what he gets. And I'll tell you what, I've got books, totes and totes of books that he's addicted to books. And in fact, I just bought him for Xmas three books, and there's a fourth one on the way. So he's just a book fanatic, he's a bookworm, and he loves books. And ever since he was 2 or 3 years old, I've been reading to him until he could read himself. And he loves movies. He loves computer games like any kid. He loves video games. He's got PlayStations and Xboxes, and you know, I buy him all kind of games, and he loves the internet, and he's even looking up grandkids on the internet because we have grandkids, and he's looking it up, trying to process things about grandkids. He just, just the way he is. But we, you know, we buy everything for him. Every weekend when he's been a good boy all week long, he gets a reward of going to McDonald's. That's his big reward. And then on Saturday he gets his Cheetos and Green Mountain Dew. You know, that's his reward for being good all week. You know, so I mean, we work with him. I spend a lot of time with him on the computer. You know, we got our computers side by side, and we spend a lot of time together. And I bought him a lot of computers over the years too, probably 6 or 7 computers in the last 15, 16 years, because they get old eventually and they're outdated. He can't get on YouTube, so new computer time.
Mr. McFarland, do you have questions for either witness?
How about mother?
Go ahead.
Would it be possible for you to then, monies that are spent for your son, just keep receipts so you can present them to the court every year for me to review, so I know that the money that came in was spent out, so we can track that? Is that something that you can do?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, we can gather up some receipts for different things. I don't know what you need receipts on every dime I spend on him. I don't know.
I'm just asking for monies of his that are being spent on him, not your monies.
Right,
Just
Yeah,
his
right,
it's his
right.
money.
Thank you. Nothing further.
right.
It could be useful to keep them in a separate account with a separate debit card, so that
Yeah.
when you use that card, you can see that it's for, you know, Xbox or whatever.
That's true.
And that way, our guardian ad litem would be able to see that, and we'd be able to see it.
Okay.
It's not that I have to assume that you're not doing it correctly. I just have to check. It's part of our obligation from the court, is to, when there's a conservator in place, anything that belongs to that person, we sort of have to keep an eye on it.
Mhm.
So we count on you to help us do that in a way that we can look at it and make sure that everything's on the up and up,
Right, okay,
okay?
yeah,
All right, well, I'll go ahead and approve the accounting based on the testimony that I heard today. And we will ask the family to move that money into a separate account and to include that in the future so that all the questions that need to be answered can be answered easily.
Okay.
And we'll see you in a couple of years, probably.
Okay.
We won't need to see you back for a couple of years.
oh,
You'll have
okay,
to-
okay,
You'll have to continue supplying your accountings, of course, but
right, right,
yes. Thank you for coming in
okay.
and for,
Now, on
Sure.
his yearly, I got a question, on his yearly accounting we do in April. Okay, that's kind of a little confused on how to take care of that. I've been just taking care of the money that he has in his account. I haven't touched his account in 9 or 10 years. We haven't taken anything out of it. And the money being spent out of his social security, does that have to reflect on that accounting every year in April?
that's what I'm asking you to do, is in addition to that lump sum, which I think is 75,000 and some change.
Right.
So I see that, that's very clear. But the social security, if you could shift that into an account for him as well, it doesn't have to be, in fact, I prefer that it was separate still from the 75,000.
Right,
But if you could keep a separate account for his social security
Right.
and include that, I would appreciate it.
well, but does that money from the social security have to be included in his annual?
Yes, that's what we're asking you to do.
Okay, all right. Not sure exactly how to do that, but,
Well, I think there's a line for it. So when you go to
will
look
it
at
be a
it,
separate accounting or will it be all on one? All on one, okay. Okay, I'll try to figure that out.
yes, it'll be a little more homework, but I think
Yeah.
it'll be not as difficult. Hopefully it won't be as difficult as it seems at this moment.
Yeah, it seems a bit overwhelming when you think about it in the beginning, you know, it's just like, oh my God, I don't want to make a full-time job out of this, you know?
Well, there are people that do.
I know.
So, your accountings are approved for today, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward. Thank you for coming in.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we have the Pawson matter next.
Can I get hold of you then?
I can't give you advice on that because I advise the court.
Right. Okay, all right. To let you know that we got the account going, I didn't know if I could.
Call us at will.
This is in the matter of Robin Marie Pawson, file number 22-1-52128 CA, first account with petition to allow.
Well, Mr. Jacob Pawson is responsible for accounting for the funds used and managed by his mother, Ms. Robin Marie Pawson. So we're looking for him today. Your name, please?
Jacob Pawson?
Michael McFarland, attorney guardian ad litem, and I have a letter that I addressed to Mr. Pawson November 14th. There should be a copy in the court file which explains my position. I did have a discussion with Mr. Pawson after this letter. If the court would then like an update.
I'm sorry?
If the court would then like an update, I can provide a verbal update.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Mr. Pawson, I can take his testimony today, indicates that he does not have receipts to verify all that. My understanding is some of the funds, he used some of his own funds, and some of these are reimbursements for the funds that he paid to her. I know Mr. Pawson's going through his own medical issues himself, so I'm not sure if that hinders him from doing his job. I mean, a very great receipts, and there's receipts all over the place, but they're by date and they're not by category. So, and it's about 2 inches thick. I appreciate that, but I does not think he's going to be able to come up with a breakdown for the $20,000. So
I've been looking. I mean,
Oh, hang on, we'll get to you in
Okay, all
one
right,
time.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So without that documentation, the verification that I always am concerned if the state doesn't audit, they wouldn't think that maybe these funds were personally used and not accusing him of that. I need some way to distinguish that they were used for his mother, the ward, Your Honor.
Thank you. I also see that it looks like there may be a service issue here. It looks like in the past, Ms. Jennifer Pawson and Ms. Robin Pawson herself have been served with copies of the proposed accountings as well as the notice of hearing. And I don't have that that's been done in this case. So I have to ask Mr. Pawson about that. Deputy Ames, if you could swear him in, please.
Remain seated, sir, but raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Pawson, we would rely on you to give off a copy of your proposed accounting and the notice of hearing for today. And I don't have any evidence in the file that that's been done.
No, I just talked to Dawn about it. She asked me about it and I didn't know, I didn't know nothing about it, so I'm gonna take care of that today.
All right, so I think what we'll have to do then is move today's hearing so that you have time to do that, so that if Jennifer or for some reason Robin wants to object or appear, then they would have the opportunity to do that. I can give you the morning of December 7th, or actually the December 14th date might be better.
Whatever you would like.
All right, so let's reschedule this for Thursday, December 14th at 9. And if Mr. McFarland has to go through and organize your documents, I would expect that he would submit a bill for services against the estate for that. So if you'd like him to do that, he will most likely have to ask his assistant or somebody else in the office, or I don't know.
Well, we don't have that, Your Honor. We probably have to look to an outside bookkeeper to go through that. And my understanding is that there are not documents to support 20,000.
So I guess, Mr. Pawson, what I would ask you is, would you like to choose an accountant to take all of your receipts to put together something that demonstrates as best as possible an organization of those receipts?
Oh, yeah.
So which accountant would you be using, if you know?
I don't know. This is all new to me. I mean,
Are you out in the Onset area?
no.
Where are you at?
I'm right here in Ager, right on Rogers Road, right across from Springbrook Middle School.
All right, well, there's a number of accountants right in town.
Yeah, I used a lady from here.
Okay, that's fine.
I guess I could try to get a hold of her, but she had a hell of a time too going through all that
Let's
stuff.
avoid the profanity.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, I mean, I'll find an accountant.
All right, if you could, we'll ask you to have that done by the 14th. If it's not done by the 14th and you need some more time, or the person who you give all your receipts to needs more time, then contact our clerk's office and ask for an extension. If you need that extension, we would need to hear probably from the person you contacted, right? Just to make sure that we have verified that you have found somebody and that you're working diligently on. So I'll ask you to make that contact within the next 7 days to, of course, serve your notice of hearing and your proposed accounting. And we'll see you back on the 14th of December, or maybe after that, if you end up needing more time.
What time on the 14th, Your Honor?
9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I know this doesn't really pertain to much, but I'm doing this all on my own, right? I'm going through my own stuff, tumor in my head, all that. I don't get no help from my sister, so I don't see why she has any involvement. She hasn't helped one bit.
She's an interested party as the law defines it. So
Okay,
I have to
okay.
follow what the law tells me to do.
No, I understand that.
Make sure that-
I needed to make that point clear.
Well, we appreciate your time and efforts, and I would encourage you to reach out to someone to help you get organized, stay organized, and support you.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best of luck as you make your way through your own challenges as well.
Thanks.
All right, well, that's all for today. Unless you have any other questions. All right, well, thank you for coming in. And that's all for the Pawson. I think Ms. Underwood has been waiting very patiently for us on Zoom for the for the Thomas Salen Bine matter.
Your Honor, I have signed off on that.
Yes.
Good morning, Judge. I believe that Kelly Smith is in the waiting room.
Oh, yes, I see her. She'll be joining us.
Yes, and my apologies, I'm having technical issues with my video, so.
Ms. Schwartz, whenever you're.
This is in the matter of Thomas Albert Salenbine, file 23-1526755CA, first and final account with petition to allow.
All right, go ahead with your appearance, Ms. Underwood.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Underwood on behalf of Kelly Smith, the conservator.
All right, Ms. Smith, could you confirm that you have joined us?
Yes, I have.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Underwood, proceed at will.
Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, Mr. Salenbine passed away shortly after Ms. Smith was appointed as the conservator of his assets. We have opened an estate. Ms. Smith is the personal representative of that estate as well. So at this time, we are looking for the court to approve the first and final account, and we should be able to provide the court with proof of transfer of those assets within a month or so.
Very well. Did you wish to verify any of the work accomplished by your client under oath?
I can, Judge, but I don't know that it's necessary. It's very, very close to what the initial inventory was, and there was really not a whole lot done in the time that the inventory or that the conservatorship was open. But if you would prefer, Judge, I can ask my client.
Well, I'm looking at the proposed accounting, and it is very consistent with what you've described. So we'll leave that to you. And if you want to decline that, that's fine. Anything else before I make my findings?
No, Judge, thank you.
Very well. The court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's hearing, which is really first and foremost Ms. Kelly Smith, who has been through the passing of Mr. Salenbine recently. I'm very sorry for your loss. The first and final accounting does appear to be correct. We do have a waiver in the file indicating the guardian ad litem, Mr. McFarland, has also examined it and has no objections to its entry. So for all those reasons, I am signing the order approving the first and final accounting, including the fees and costs as set forth therein. We would ask you to provide proof of transfer of the remaining assets to the estate by December 16th, 2023. And at that time, the file would be administratively closed. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And that's it for our 9 o'clock call.